I want to put this on. Feels important. Okay. Got something important for you tonight. It's Friday night, and this week has been tough. So, without going into all of the reasons why that everyone can think of on their own, they don't need me for that. I'm here to bring you optimism. I'm here to bring you the news that you won't see anywhere else, at least in the mainstream. And I want to tell you today some reasons to have some faith in the Trump legacy. The people in the mainstream that will have you believe that the MAGA movement is gone, that Trump's presidency was tarnished forever, that we as a movement have been torn asunder. I'm here to tell you that that is not true. This is alive and well, and I don't want to go into all of the accomplishments. We're not going to do that here. In fact, if you could, leave a comment below or like this video if you would be willing to tune into the first ever America Floats live stream, where I'd love to go through some of these accomplishments and just walk through them. I think it takes a little bit more than a 10 or 15 minute video to get through what is 49 pages of incredible historic accomplishments that will not be broken anytime soon by any administration. So, not to look at all of the different administration highlights, we can do that another time, but like I said, comment below or like this video if you would tune in to the first ever America Floats live stream to go over the Trump accomplishments, because I think it's worth memorializing in history. So check that out when you have a second, and then I want to show you the real legacy of Donald Trump. In my opinion, the thing that we have to take stark contrast in viewing from 5.5 years ago to now is media reception and our perception of the media, our trust in the media, and our distrust in the media. 5.5 years ago, majority of Republican voters liked John McCain, would have accepted guys like Jeff Flake, would have liked people like Lindsey Graham or Mitch McConnell, probably would have had a stellar opinion of Mike Pence, people that would have liked John Kasich or Paul Ryan. 5.5 years ago, things were very different, and your perception of different people in politics was wildly different than it is today. So to assume that whatever the media is telling us today is Trump's legacy will be what it is just as wrong as it would have been to believe the media then when they said Donald Trump would never be president. It is easy for us because of a thing called latency bias, which is we often remember most the last thing to have happened. I'm sorry. That is the first thing. Latency bias is that we remember the first thing that happens, and recency bias is the other one, that we will remember the very first. So I refer this to like a book. If you're reading a book, the latency bias is that you'll remember the first few pieces of information you glean from that book, and then the recency bias is that you'll also glean the last things you read in that book. We don't want to suffer from recency bias here. We don't want to have our perception of the last 4 years be tainted by the media's perception and the media's scheming and framing of what happened over the last 2 months. You shouldn't ever forget that you witnessed live an election coup that the courts didn't do anything to stop, that the military has not done anything yet to stop. You witnessed it. But that is not the legacy of Donald Trump. That is the legacy of this administration and the media that helped support it. Donald Trump's legacy is this. This is from Axios. This is the recent trust and distrust in the media. And I call it the distrust in the media poll because, as you can see, this is the current percentage of Americans who trust traditional mainstream media. And Axios themselves, they are a part of this. They are reporting that the people who trust the media at all is at 46%. So less than half of people in the United States trust the media enough to say, I trust it. I think that's the 51% rule. Maybe you think that's the B+ rule. 80% or more, you say yes. If it's less, no. I would say if you more trust than don't, you would say you trust the media. If you don't trust the media more than you do, you would say no. So 46% of Americans say they have some trust in the media. Now, I believe that's too high. But just understand, they're telling you the big picture, the reason for this, right here at the bottom of your screen. These numbers are echoed across the world. They're mostly not a function of Donald Trump's war on fake news. Mostly not a function? Lady, you don't know what we're going to do here to you. Here's another one that actually tells you the more honest truth. This is from Gallup itself, so you can go to gallup.com and find this. This is the report on Americans remaining distrustful of mass media. So, mostly not to do with Donald Trump's war on the media. Is that to mean that the United States and Americans distrust their media more than the rest of the world? It says 9% of people in the United States actually trust the mass media a great deal. 31% of those people, 31% of people trust the media a fair amount. A fair amount could be 10%, right? This is all subjective language, but if you said, I trust the media a great deal, that to me is more than 51%. A great deal is more than half. 9% of people. 27% of people say not very much trust. 33%, okay, this is the big one. 1/3 of people say they do not trust the media at all. Not a 1%. Donald Trump doesn't have a legacy? Donald Trump didn't get into this machine and break it? The allegory that has been often laid upon this situation that we have found ourselves in over the past 6 to 10 years politically is that the political system in the United States and the bureaucracy and corporatocracy that supports it has been building this ivory tower in DC and satellite offices, if you want to call them that, in places like New York and LA, Silicon Valley, in San Francisco. These places where they will do all the funding and all the ad revenue and all the generation of clicks to support a belief that at least 50% of people believe in this party, which they don't. As you're finding, the party uses the media as its mouthpiece. If the people don't support and believe in the media, then it tells you the people, transitively, don't support the media's messaging, which is coming from that party. Ergo, the people don't support the party. This will tell you the American people do not trust what the media tells them, and the media tells them things that the parties want them to know. Now we know it is a uniparty, and Donald Trump was essentially getting in and holding certain members of that uniparty politically hostage to force them to support his agenda. They did so up until the point where they didn't have to anymore. They saw the exit and they tore off, leaving us all holding the bag, right? So it says, Washington, D.C. At a time when Americans are relying heavily on media for information about the coronavirus pandemic, the presidential election, and other momentous events, I would call it monumental events, the public remains largely distrustful of the media. And then we went over those stats, right? 4 in 10 U.S. adults say they have a great deal of 9% or a fair amount. So they're adding those together to say 4 in 10 people say they have some trust in the media. When you have to skew the language to say that 4 in 10 people trust the media because you're including the people that rarely trust it, as well as the people that have good trust, I mean, less than 10% people having good trust in the media. So this graph shows you a little bit more detail than this other one from Axios, right? This is a giant plunge, but people can say, well, look, relative to the graph, it doesn't show you that much. This is actually illustrative of something that really doesn't exist. It's not that big of a deal. This should tell you a lot more. The fact that most Americans are distrustful of their media, and the fact that at the same time, those Americans believe the media is a mouthpiece for the uniparty establishment, should tell you that you're not on the wrong side at all. You're not on a losing team here. You're on a team that just saw a bad call from some cheating refs. Period. And you don't have to feel bad about it. You can be invigorated by that. You can feel enthusiastically re-energized by this, because the midterms are only so long away, only so far off. What was it, no, not Billy Madison, but it was, it was Happy Gilmore. It was 364 more days until next year's hockey tryouts. That's how we need to be thinking about these midterms. In the time between now and then, we need to be pushing the effects of Trump's legacy. This isn't over. I want to show you that the trust in media issue is not new. In fact, this is a Time article, just you can read, right? But I'll tell the people that are maybe just listening or driving. we're looking at a Time article titled, "Too Many Americans Still Mistrust the COVID-19 Vaccines. Here's Why." We're going to try to dispel, what was it that Marco Rubio consistently broke into like a robot? We need to dispel with the notions that vaccines are bad. We need to dispel with the notions that people distrust what establishment tells them they should totally trust without a doubt. Don't question authority. Obey, obey, obey. It says, if you're feeling impatient waiting for your turn for the COVID-19 vaccine, here's a little good news. Not many people are having a good time with it. That should be the headline here, but it's not. I wonder if we could get some celebrities to do a vaccine, and then maybe they could show, like Hank Aaron here as an example. Hank Aaron goes to get a vaccine to show the black community that this is safe, that you can do this, and sure enough, oh shit, a couple hours ago he died. Okay, well, maybe people are right to mistrust things. Now, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I love vaccines. I think vaccines are great. Here, I want to pull you this clip. This is what I wanted to show you. Well, we'll show you show his face, dude. There you go. This is what I wanted to show you, because I think the point of this video is supposed to be that Trump's legacy is that he showed you were right to mistrust this. You want to go the Matrix route and say that, you took the red pill, you broke the window, you showed people the Matrix. Great. That is essentially what this is, after all, but there's more nuance to it than that. Take a 50,000 foot view. Go way up high and realize that the Trump era, this movement, the MAGA movement, starts with Trump. Doesn't end with Trump. It may end with you. So long as you and I are continuing to make America great again, the movement doesn't die. Censorship won't kill us. Big tech can't kill us. Removing an account? I didn't have an account 10 years ago. And I also wasn't aware the news was lying to me in the way that they were. And I also wasn't aware of the fact that we could make this country better if we actually set ourselves out to do that. Now you know all of those things. You know those things to be true. The media is lying to you. Big tech is out against you. And you can win in this country if you set yourself out to do so. You were shown it, proof, pudding, and all, by Donald Trump. That's his legacy. It's not a number of jobs created and then, jobs lost during COVID. It's not a function of black unemployment and the vote counts between one election and another. It's not the function of exposing the parties that want to play dirty against someone who is an outsider, because we assume that. Donald Trump showed you that you can be impactful, that your voice does matter. And in this last election, you want to say, well, fine, our votes don't matter, and that's our final vote, our final voice in this country. We have certain boxes to stand on, right? They say you have the soap box, you have the ballot box, you have a jury box, and you have a cartridge box. A lot of people right now want to think that they're only at that last one. And I'm here to try to tell you that that's not the case. Because while that feels good today to say or to feel or to have that rage or to want to just feel like a patriot, to feel like, you know what, we were called to do this and we got to do... Cooler heads prevail, right? And when you're dealing with subverters, you may really, really, really need to consider that was my hope in saying this. So I want to share this. This is a quote from Donald Trump. It's actually one of my favorite quotes from Donald Trump that has not yet been used in one of the political videos. So I know everyone's heard the typical quotes. I want to share this one because it's not one you may have heard yet. Unless you watch this channel religiously, which there are like 3 people that do that. So, and there could be more, by the way. I don't doubt people should love this channel. I would hope. So if you haven't already, by the way, we're making progress. 68% of people were watching these videos not subscribed last week. Now it's down to 63%. So good job. If you are one of the people that is watching this video and is not subscribed, I appreciate that. And I'd appreciate it more if you would subscribe, because it would help us grow this channel, boost the signal, and continue to do the mission, which is keeping America afloat. So in that, I want to close with this. Donald Trump's legacy will not be the job creation. It won't be returning to an American greatness. It won't be these things that happened that you and I know, we witnessed, we lived through. No one can take it away. And we'll do that live stream, and we'll go through them in detail, those things that we should all be cherishing. But that's not the legacy. The legacy is this. It is showing you eyes wide open that you matter, your voice matters, this country matters more than you ever thought, and you have a bigger impact on it than you ever thought possible. So now is the best time to be active. Now is the best time to be invigorated and energized in this movement, and to push. He said, never give up, never surrender. I will never concede. As far as I'm concerned, he still hasn't. He left the White House. He was not at the inauguration, because you don't transfer power when it's been stolen. So I leave you with this. It says, my favorite Donald Trump quote: get going, move forward, aim high, plan a takeoff. Don't just sit on the runway and hope someone will come along and push the airplane. It simply won't happen. Change your attitude and gain some altitude. Believe me, you'll love it up here. So be like Donald Trump. Be a MAGA leader. Take yourself up to the 50,000 foot view and look at the news and laugh. Because now you know what it is. It's not here to inform you. It's here to brainwash you and propagandize you. They are telling you what they want you to think, not what is true, not what you should know. The news used to be what you should know and why you should know it. Now it's what we want you to know, without knowing why we want you to know it. That's his legacy. It's saving us from that and opening your eyes to that. And I hope you see that. I hope you'll agree with me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like this video, share this video anywhere you can, because it does help. A guerrilla tactic in sharing this content anywhere and everywhere that'll accept a link and an enter button helps. And then once you've done that, you're doing everything else that you can do. You've subscribed to the channel. You've hit your notification bell. You've gone to BitChute and to Rumble and to Gab and to all the other platforms to follow and subscribe to America Floats. Then you are doing everything else that you can do to remember Donald Trump's legacy and to fight the fake news and to keep America afloat.